as you always do.
That was it.
So
Love
when
these guys, the best.
see what I mean, Joe? He's interrupting me again. You know what I mean? See what I deal with on a daily basis?
That's why you guys work together so well.
I know. I got a big mouth, man.
I mean, it is water though, so it might be a little bit of bad luck, my friend.
Well, it's bad luck if he doesn't drink.
You don't know what's in here.
All right. We'll leave it at that.
Love these guys. Love them.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Burn Down podcast. Today we have in the studio big old personality, Big Joe Gambino himself. My friend, welcome back, actually.
Yes.
We appreciate you coming back.
Well, thank you for having me.
Man, we had you 2 months ago. We had a great conversation for over 2 hours. About an hour and 30 minutes in, Justin's first time ever computer just shit the bed, crashed. We lost everything.
Oh, dude.
Tremendously embarrassed to be like, Joe, we lost everything.
It was brutal. It was
So-
brutal.
That sucks. That sucks on every aspect because it was a really great podcast.
It was. But I think this one's
Shit
going to
happens,
be
man.
even better.
Shit happens.
So, but as a token of our appreciation
Yes.
for coming back, we wanted to give a couple things for you, all right?
All
So we have a couple gifts. You know,
Christmas just came.
Christmas just came.
Okay.
So hold on here.
So this is a little welcome back gift, a little Christmas gift, you know,
All right, let's see.
token of our
So, I
appreciation.
don't know if you ever heard of
here.
Neri's Bakery in Port Chester. It's one of the oldest and best bakeries in Westchester. So
No,
I got you some great Italian cookies, cannolis, of course.
Wow. You guys are awesome.
So you can enjoy those later at your own leisure.
Thank you so much.
Of course. And then, of course, you have to top it off with a bottle of vino, my friend. So,
You guys,
as a parting gift and for your time, we wanted to give you a couple little presents.
thank you guys
So
so
enjoy
much.
them. So
That's
if you want
really-
to put them to the side,
You're welcome.
you want to drink them, open them, eat them with the coffee, by all means.
I'm gonna bring him home to my son because he loves cookies and cannolis.
Perfect. So
There we go.
Thank you.
There we
guys.
go.
Of
You're
course.
very
We'll put it
welcome.
over
You're
here.
very well. Thank you for coming back onto the show.
Of course.
And I know you're coming. It's a little bit of drive here. It's a little bit of a drive to get here. So we
A little
appreciate
bit.
you.
A little bit.
You know, you toughing out that New York traffic to get here with us today.
and a lot of things have happened in the last 2 months since we saw you.
I'll tell you, things happen like that, and it's only 2 months since I've been here, and a few things has happened since.
So let's talk about these things. So for the people who don't know who it's kind of hard if you're not on social media. Know Big Joe, you're not on social media because
Yeah, I mean, come on. I
the guy's personality. But for the people who don't know who you are,
right.
enlighten them a little bit. Who are you? Where you came from? How'd you get here where you are today? Give them a little background.
Well, let him light up. Let him light up his cigar first, okay?
course.
We got.
Yeah, let me.
We got to let him
Gotta
toast
get him
the
started.
stogie. Yeah, you got to let him toast the stogie.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, be a big personality on social media, and it came like that. I feel like it came rather quickly.
It did.
Because all of a sudden I'm just seeing all these, and I'm like,
on Barstool. That's what I remember.
yeah, I'm like, holy shit! I'm like, who is? Look at this guy. He's just blowing up, right? It came from a Kia Sorrento reel or TikTok, whatever you want to call it, but just kind of came out of nowhere, man.
A few things started it off. One was the Kia. It was getting introduced to New York Nico and him filming me about my car, just asking me why I liked my Sorrento so much because he had seen a prior video that I did on my own in the car. For my own purposes, just talking about how I like the Sorrento. How you know what? Yeah, I've been in Mercedes, I've been in BMWs, I had all that stuff. But you know what? I liked my Kia. I enjoyed it, and I described it, and I just was talking about. It was about a guy liking his car. Talking about the passion he has for his
yeah, it
car.
had nothing to do with who made the car. It was just I like the car. I like the car.
It's not like this guy should be driving a Cadillac instead of a Kia. It's not even about that. It's about I just like the car, and because of that, it just blew up. It just blew up. I'm actually doing Kia commercials, if you can believe it or not.
You know what? It's
So-
funny.
so-
It's funny that you say that because
Yeah.
when we had you on 2 months ago, you were a little upset with Kia because you said, "Hey, Kia, I'm bringing you all this business, all these eyeballs. I want to get a little compensated." So it looks like they finally heard you.
I guess they heard me, or people have been getting in their ears. Says, "Oh, what are we doing over here? This guy's talking about his car. You got to throw him something. A free oil change ain't cutting it." So they got a contract and making commercials for Kia now. So
Good
it's
for you.
It's really something else.
That's so because I remember you had looked right in the camera and you had said like, give me something. Let's do something, okay? Like let's make it.
Yeah.
And you spoke it into existence. And look at
Yeah, they heard me.
It's funny because they heard you, even though it didn't air. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
He definitely heard you, and he was like, "All right, we're gonna make this happen." You know?
I guess my persona gravitated to them. So let's give this guy a shot. People, I'm telling you, people have DM'd me. People have came to me on the street. Joe, I bought a Kia this Sorento,
wow,
or whatever kind of Telluride. I bought a Kia because of you. Because of what you say about a Kia.
Isn't that wild? Isn't that wild? People buy things because of because of you.
Next step besides making commercials, I like to go to dealerships themselves and say, listen, this guy bought a car, right? What's my percentage? What's my commission?
Yeah, what's my cut on that?
Or be like,
we'll get there.
Or be like, you know what? You turn that car you have right now. I'm going to give you the brand new one for free. We're going to take back the old one, give you the 2024 for free, and all you got to do is just like make a post about it every single month. Done.
Come on.
I mean,
that pays for itself.
Listen, you think about this, right? Like, on a smaller scale, right? One of the humidors, actually, both humidors that I have in there are made by New Air. Okay. New Air makes those cigar fridges, right?
Yes.
And they I talked about the New Air. I was like, hey, I really like this one. They said, hey, we're going to give you the big 1,500 count humidor. All you got to do is make a couple of posts about it. We'll give it to you for free. Why can't you do that with a car? It's just a bigger scale.
No doubt.
Hey, listen, we're going to give you a car for free. You just got to do a post or 5 posts a month for the next year. Okay. For the free. It's just a bigger scale. Like, if people do it for smaller items, why can't you do it for a big item?
Yeah, exactly. No, I totally agree with you.
It's the same concept. It's the same concept.
Totally
He's living proof.
Yeah. You get a product, put a quarter, get a car. Put a quarter, get a car.
So, that got me on the map. Also, of course, growing up Italians, putting me on their podcast for the first time got me on the map. People just crave that old nostalgic.
Is this mic okay for you? You want me to lower this? Is this
no?
all right?
You can hear me right? Maybe I'm a little too far away from.
Yeah, I want to talk right into. There you go.
It'll pull back too.
If you want to lean back a little bit, you can. I just didn't know if it was. I don't know if you liked it.
No,
like
that's
lower
good.
or higher.
I just don't know. Smoking a cigar with the thing. I want to burn your equipment. I don't want to burn down.
Hey.
But that got me. That got me a lot of publicity too. So it's been a roller coaster since there. I'm talking about movies, movie opportunities, commercials.
Wow.
I'm what's considered an influencer. I don't even know. Yeah. I didn't know what an influencer was up until now, up until what I'm doing. Didn't know what it was. I mean, I heard of these guys have a lot of following. This guy had a lot of following. I didn't know exactly what an influencer does or what it meant, what it stands for.
Sure.
And well, here I am.
Isn't that strange? Like being called. We always talk about like technically we are cigar influencers, but we never really said, hey, I'm an influencer.
Yeah, like I don't post.
It's a weird thing, and I'm like, I'm not. I just post shit. Like I don't. Yeah. But apparently, you're influencing somebody's buying habits. You're influencing somebody's decisions.
Buying a goddamn Kia.
Yeah, and it's just weird. It's
bro.
like, what do you do for a living? I'm an influencer. No, I just post shit. Like,
I would never say that. I would say, what do you do for a living? I'm acting. I'll say I'm acting.
Exactly.
To be an influencer, it still sounds a little strange coming out. I'm an influencer.
Sure. Right?
I influence people to do certain things.
Isn't it weird? I find it strange. Man. But now you got these kids. You got young kids that you're asking them.
That's their aspirations.
What do you want to be when you go? I want to be an influencer.
Yeah.
I'm like, what?
Man, I don't get
Used to be, I want to be a firefighter. I want to be a policeman. I want to be an astronaut. I want to be a veterinarian.
Right.
I want to be a YouTuber.
I want to be an influencer.
Huh? Yeah, YouTuber, man. That's crazy.
I'd be like, no. Not being stop that. Okay.
So speaking about people enjoying nostalgia, right? I feel like since the last few years, a lot of people have been gravitating towards that nostalgic Italian traditional heritage, whether it's the way New Yorkers talk, the way either it's Italian tradition. We've seen you on Growing Up with Italian podcast a bunch of times, all their clips. What was it like growing up in Astoria? Being Italian, obviously growing up in an Italian neighborhood. What was that like?
Amazing. And if you tell a younger generation, like a generation like my son's generation, they won't believe certain things because they never heard of certain things. It was just a different time. It was a different time, and I will not take it away from me. I would never want to not be living in that time of era that I was in. Like sure. I don't want to. How do I want to say it? I want to say the right words. It was an amazing era, and it made me who I am today. And unfortunately, and I do feel bad for the younger generation that didn't experience what I experienced. Now you're going to ask me what I experienced.
What'd you experience?
Just different things. It's neighborhood, people, the way we went outside, the way we We played in the streets. We didn't have phones. We didn't have, to want to hear about the news, we had to wait to the 6 o'clock news,
Sure.
Or the 11 o'clock news. We didn't have iPhones. We didn't have social media. It was just a different time. It was a slower pace too. It got you. All right, you got to go get up. You got to do this, you got that. Now everything's such on a speedy scale.
People in a rush.
Oh my God, it's like it's nuts, and it's getting
Worse.
faster by the day.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it was an incredible time. And I lived in an Italian Greek neighborhood. Astoria was predominantly Greeks and Italians. A lot of people say more Greeks and Italians. I disagree. There was a lot of Italians there too.
Depends on what block you're on.
But it depends on what block you want.
Yeah.
I was for you guys from Astoria, I was on Upper Dinmars. Upper Dinmars was
Sure.
all Italians, okay?
Sure.
All right. Then you had all the Greeks on 30th Avenue and 23rd Avenue. But we got along fine. We got along great. It was a great time.
And then, and that's how you met our good friend and your friend from the neighborhood, Nino, who surprised us last time, right? You guys grew up in the
DJ
neighborhood.
Nino, yes. He grew up in
DJ.
Astoria.
Yeah.
As
He
a
walked
Astoria
in
guy.
last time, right?
Joe thought he's like, who's at the door for me? And he's
Pack
like,
of Marlboro Reds on the
yeah.
counter. I was like, oh
Nino's
my
a
God.
great guy. He's an old school guy. He knows exactly where we're practically the same age, and we grew up in the same neighborhood, so he knows.
He
the
knows
deal.
you're from the neighborhood.
It's so bizarre to me that we know you both, and you guys are the same exact age. You guys came
Yeah.
from the same neighborhood. To
Yeah.
me, like that's so bizarre.
Mhm.
It's such a small world. I mean, it feels like a big world, but it is a small world.
Well, they always
It
say
is a
it's what do they say? 3 degrees of separation.
Mm.
Is that the
I think that's the
I
term.
guess whoever they is, whatever. That's what they say, right? You're only
They
three.
say. Who's
you're only-
they? Who's
yeah,
they?
who's they? You're only 3 people from like three degrees away from knowing somebody. 3 people, right? Like you know him, he knows him, and then he knows your brother.
that's
Something
how
like
it
that.
goes.
But
And Joe, we got you smoking the new cigar.
I'm telling you.
Should we announce the name? Do we do that? Do we not announce the name? Should we?
It's up to you guys. It's your cigar.
I
but
know. I'm asking Justin.
I'm liking it. So
So,
not,
yeah.
not yet. It's not even a new year yet.
Yeah, it's
Although
not even a new
this
year.
would come out in the new year, but let's hold off.
You're right. This would be the first episode of 2024. Big
Because
Joe
here's the thing,
Gambino.
we don't have the label yet. So when we announce, I would like to have the label come
Sure,
up and say,
sure.
here's this,
Well, I can tell you this: when they do announce it and they do introduce it, it's an amazing cigar.
Listen to you.
Almost as good as mine.
Oh,
okay.
got it.
All right. No,
Let's segue.
That's a good segue.
Good segue.
Good segue. He got a good segue.
So when we spoke to you 2 months ago, you were saying you were just getting into cigars. You've been around a lot of guys who smoke cigars, but you're never really into it.
No.
And then as time progressed, you got closer and closer, and then you said, "Hey, I think I'm getting my own cigar." And now you do have your own cigar. So let's hear a little bit about the Big Joe Gambino
It's
cigar.
not launched yet, but I did sign a contract. It's all in the works.
So you can talk about it.
I
you're
can
not-
talk about it. It's not
Promote the hell out of it.
It's not a problem. Sponsored by the company St. Giuseppe Cigars.
Yeah.
Big Joe Bonanno. Made my own blend. Made my own cigar. Made my own addition to St. Giuseppe Cigars with my own label. It's a black label. It's
Nice.
called the Big Joe Gambino Black Label. Comes in a black box. It comes in when you open the box. It's a black felt. It's an Italian
Nice.
horn on it.
No,
It's about a
shit.
6-inch stick. It's what's called a Gordo.
Gordo,
Gordo.
yeah.
I'm still getting the lingo. The
Yeah.
lingo.
We're always
the
learning,
lingo
man.
for
We're always learning.
cigars. But it's a great smoke. It's a great stick.
Well, you can call it whatever. What is the Italian word for thick? Because gordo is the Italian.
Bazan.
Bazan. So you can call it a bazanda if
Yeah.
you want. It's
Well, I could call anything
Exactly,
I want. Who's gonna stop me?
it's your
Yeah.
cigar. You can name it whatever the heck you want to name
God
it.
damn it.
But it's great, and it's amazing to be here. I don't want to call you guys my competitors. I want to call you guys my my
Compadres.
my fellow cigar guys.
See,
Well,
it's funny because
It's funny you say that.
we talk about
Yeah.
this all the time on this show where this is a perfect example. We have a cigar brand, okay? We have another cigar that you're smoking. It's going to be coming out. You have a cigar brand. But we're both on the show talking about our cigars. Like, here's what our cigar's blended out. You're going to tell about your cigar. I want to try your cigar. You want to try my cigar. There's no other area. You would never see McDonald's invite Burger King
Right,
to come on a
right.
show and say, hey, I want to try your burger. You try my. Let's talk about it. Let's promote each other. That would never happen.
No.
But it does in the cigar
Yeah.
community.
And
you-
that's a great thing.
And as the more and more you're into the cigar industry and the cigar world, you'll see that you're hanging out with more people who have brands. They don't care that you have a cigar, but they want to see you succeed. They want to see you do well, and vice versa. And
Right.
it's like,
Vice versa.
And they always talk
absolutely.
about, like, how
It's
can
a
we
very-
collaborate, right? Like,
very
maybe in the
weird.
future we say, hey, how do we do a burn down Big Joe Gambino collaborate. Like let's work together. It's
We'll definitely
always
do
like
that.
that. You don't see McDonald's and Burger King. Hey, you
don't
want to
see
work
Kia and
together on
Cadillac doing
something
it.
called like the
Wow.
the Big King Burger? No, they don't do that.
Nah.
Only in the cigar world, man.
And what was one of your favorite parts about making your own cigar?
The environment. I would say the environment that when I sat down, I went to a cigar club called the General out in Eisenhower Park.
Oh, you been there?
Been there.
Oh, that's a great.
It's like the third time we heard about that place.
That is a
It's
great lounge.
Yeah.
Amazing. I'm not a member there yet, but it's in the works. I went there as a guest, and just the environment alone, it's an amazing place. I'm not talking about just guys there. There was guys, girls, all different types of people just getting together, smoking a great cigar, having a drink, watching TV, watching some sports. An amazing, amazing environment. And then that's actually where I signed my contract and smoked my sample of my first cigar.
No,
In the General.
Did you go to the restaurant underneath it?
Not yet.
Oh, that's we got to go there. One of my close friends works the catering side of it. It's called the Lannon. That's like the catering hall, and then they have the
Beautiful
Union,
place. Beautiful.
which is a restaurant, and then the General Club, and that place is beautiful.
Gorgeous.
And it's actually, I'll be quite honest, it's not that expensive to be a member there. It's only like $2,000 a year or $2,500 a year or something like that. And then if you're a member, you can bring whoever you want.
Right.
And I'm like, wow, that's actually not, because some of these other ones, like you see these clubs, like, oh, you got to be $5,000 a month or $10,000. You want to go to like the what was it, the top of the sixes? Used to be the Havana Room. They don't call it any. It's not even know if it's there.
in Manhattan.
Got to be like $1 million. But I'm like, really? Fucking smoke a cigar?
Can't do it.
But this place is beautiful. Beautiful place. They redid the whole thing. It used to be the Carlton.
Right.
They redid the whole thing.
I met the owner there and took a liking to me. It's just a great place, great environment, and great people, and it's a whole mix of people. I mean, you see politicians, you see business people, you see the average Joe go there. You just see so many different types of people. It's an amazing environment.
Now, again, since the last time I saw you, you turned me on to Gravesend, which is a great show on Amazon Prime. Shout out to Gravesend and William DeMeo.
The best.
Now you're on that show, and you got a pretty prominent role for season 3. Because season
do.
1, it's about like, what, 3 or 4 episodes?
Season 1 was 4 episodes because it was filmed during the pandemic, and it was kind of hard to get
so you
different funding
were
for-
limited, yeah.
So they was limited to 4 episodes. Season 2 is a
Killer.
game changer.
Yeah.
It's a game changer. I mean, it was an amazing series. I watch it on a daily basis because I just loved I love the series.
It's such a great time frame, like the 80s in Brooklyn.
Yes.
The old nostalgia is all there. Like, I didn't grow up in the 80s, obviously, but,
The
I'm a
freestyle,
90s
the songs, yeah. But it's amazing, and I have a very, very decent role in season 3, and I thank, of course, William DeMeo and the whole Gravesend crew for taking me aboard.
Can you tell me what your role is or who your character is?
Well, I could tell you this. I think I could tell you the name of my character. I don't think that's going to change, and I won't say exactly certain lines that I know of. I don't know all my lines, but I know certain lines that are totally amazing that I won't discuss it. But my character's name is Ronnie. That's my it's a pretty decent part because I'm going to be with some of the main characters, not just guy, in the back of the bar hitting someone over the head or shooting somebody or gets killed right away. It's a decent part, and I really want to thank from the bottom of my heart William DeMeo for believing in me, Chris Mamondo, who gave me my first shot, my first movie, who's in season 2. He amazing guys.
And when does that
So
come out?
you're in a few episodes? You're in like the whole season? Like, are you in every single episode?
I'm going
or
to
you
be in season 3. How many episodes? I don't know yet, but it's a decent.
It's a
decent
good
amount.
part. Oh, that's awesome.
Big Ron, Big
That's
Ronnie.
awesome, man.
Ronnie. And it's funny because in my neighborhood, I mean, there was a couple Ronnies that were,
Notorious
One
for
of
something.
those. And I was like, where does he get these
Everybody
names
knows.
from?
You say everybody knows what that means.
I hope he's not talking about this guy, or maybe he's talking about that guy. But you know what? Hey, you know what? I'm just an actor.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Those who,
I don't mean it. I don't mean nothing by it.
right?
So is it coming out in 2024? Do you know?
Well, we're going to be filming. We're going to be filming in 2024, so hopefully it comes out.
Oh, I thought it was done already. Okay.
No, it's not. No, we're just going to start filming. But
wow.
That's exciting, man. I love to hear. So what was the? Well, you can only talk about the season 2 when you had your role in there. But do you have any idea what the process is going to be?
Season 3 is going to be my role.
Well, you said season 2 you were in it a little bit, right?
Chris Mamondo was in it, who actually gave me my first shot in my first movie.
Oh, okay.
Called judge, no book, I believe, and it's almost 70% being done editing, and that's going to come out this year. That's 2024.
See, I would love to get you back on after you go through this whole thing and hear like what the process is like what is the filming, and are you there all day? Is it 8 hours a day? Do they kind of work in? All right, you're going to come into because we had
Gianni and Millie
Gianni
May.
and Millie May. Thank you.
Bless Me Father.
Who did Bless Me Father.
Right,
And you
yes.
actually know Millie May from the Scopa
tournament.
The pretty girl who got
was
me
giving me the
distracted.
eyes.
Yeah. So we had talked to them about like what it takes to make a movie and film and all these things, and they were saying that a lot of the actors, because they didn't use any of these big name actors, they used people that were just like you said,
They're friends and
average
family.
Joes, right?
Right.
And they said that a lot of all these people had 9 to 5s, like they had jobs that they had to go, so they had to accommodate. Listen, all right, you're going to take today off. You come in, we'll get all your scenes done. So I'd be curious to see how that works. But
what's it like memorizing lines and acting? Like, how did you get accustomed to it? How did you make you feel?
This is the funny part. See, I never took a day in acting school.
you're a natural.
And I was told too. I was told by professional actors that sometimes more, less is better than more.
Okay.
Don't overdo your lines. So not that I'm telling you that I go on set and I wing it. No, of course I have to read my script. I have to read my lines. I have to memorize them. But at the same time, they want me to be also myself. Read the lines like you're reading it to yourself.
Yes.
Not because some director's telling you, okay, you gotta do it this way. They like that better.
Sure.
And it's been working out for me. Listen, I don't have these big, Robert De Niro roles or Al Pacino roles, main character roles. No. But these little roles I've been having and being on set all day, it is very interesting and it's pretty cool. I mean, it's watching different people perform, having breaks, the crew set, like the what it takes to make a movie, the camera guys, the microphone guys, the lighting. It's a whole industry. It's amazing.
I know. They shut the whole thing down.
I mean, just think about. I think about right now, like this. We have clear audio, but you're talking directly into a microphone. Imagine now you have to have a clear audio, but you can't see the mic. So the mics are like all over the freaking place, and you got to make sure that they're pointed in the right areas, and and you're not getting echo from one. So I can't imagine the how intricate all these things are, and how it almost goes down to some science. That's where you got the sound engineers that are so scientific about it. Like, no, you got to have this one pointed here and this one pointed there, and then we have one. It's got to be wild. But did you ever think, right? Now, fast forward or rewind, I don't know, 10 years ago, 15 years ago. Did you ever think that you were going to be an actor? Did you ever want to be an actor?
I always loved movies, not just mob movies, all kinds of movies. I'm a movie buff. You give me questions about certain movies, and I'm pretty good at it.
Top 3 favorite movies, go.
Top 3 favorites? I would say Rocky, Godfather, and Jaws.
Damn, that's kind of almost like mine. I say Rocky, Goodfellas, and Forrest Gump. Those are my 3. But Jaws is right up there too as well.
I love Jaws.
Yeah, Goodfellas is top for me. Goodfellas is. But I don't know if I have a 2 or 3. It's kind of. I'm a huge movie nut in all different genres. I do love the mob movies, right? But I love comedies. I love some dramas. There's so many good movies. And I'll just throw a couple, and you're like, oh, I forgot about that one. Or like, oh, I forgot about that one. Right. And then it's like, okay, now what era are you talking, right? Are you talking way back? Are you talking like, for instance, okay, Jaws, the guy who plays what's the
Quit?
Yes,
Captain?
the captain. His name is. We talked about this last time.
We did.
His name is Robert Shaw.
Robert Shaw. Yeah.
And he is the Lonigan from The Sting. Have you ever seen The Sting with Robert Redford, Paul Newman? Their mark
You guys
is
talked about this last
Lonigan,
time, right?
and that guy is Robert Shaw. That's one of the first movies, man. Then you fast forward, now he makes Jaws, 2 completely different movies, right? But, look about The Color of the Money. Color of Money is another good movie, right? You have all these older movies, and then there's newer movies, so it's difficult to pick.
There's so many. There's such a range of movies and the timeline. The timeline is amazing. But getting back to your question about 10, 15 years ago, no. Did I always was told, Joe, you have the look, man. You should you should become an actor. You should become in the movies. You have that Italian, gangster look, whatever. Yeah. I always brushed it off, or I said, yeah, maybe one day. I never actually thought it would actually happen, and it happened in a blink of an eye. I mean, 2 years ago, I told you I started doing videos on my phone, as a goof, and it just exploded into where I am now, which is, I have to say I'm blessed. I'm blessed for the opportunities that have been coming my way, and they just keep on coming.
That's great. That's awesome.
I love it.
I love
And
it so much.
I love how you had said that the director or directors, they love it when you can. They want you to to memorize your lines,
Right.
but they also want you to say the lines the way that you just naturally say them, which is the reason why they cast you in the first place, right? Now, granted, you had said some of these big movies, right? Like especially if you're Elvis, like the Ashton, what's the guy's name? Austin Butler when he played Elvis.
Oh yeah.
Obviously, don't say it the way Austin Butler says it. Say it the way Elvis would say it because you're playing that person,
of
okay?
course.
But when the director said, "No, I want you to say it the way that you would say it,"
I think it
it
says a lot about
works-
his personality.
it works better too because I feel
Right.
like it just comes out more naturally. You're not forcing anything.
Right.
You're just saying a line in the way that you would normally say it.
Well, these producers and these writers and these directors also, the key word, personality. I don't have what's called the magic voice of an actor. I have what's they like is my mannerisms, my looks, my hand gestures, the way I would tell
And
you
your
what I'm
natural
thinking with my
habitat.
eyes.
The way you talk with your hands.
but that's something natural for me since I was a kid. I've been doing that because I had family members that talk like that, and I was a sponge that off them, and it was like people love that. That's how they gravitate to me, just by my mannerisms, as they say.
What was Big Joe like in high school?
Well, I went to St. Francis Prep, which is on Francis Lewis Boulevard in Queens. It was a great school. I was called in school. I was called Little Al Capone. Freshman year, I was called Little Al Capone. Why they called me Little, I don't know. I was a big kid, but I dressed to a T. And, it was the first time I went to a Catholic school. I went to elementary and junior high school. I went to public school, so we didn't have to wear uniforms. But then I was going on a different path that my parents didn't want me to go on. So they said, you know what, you're gonna go to Catholic high school. That's it. You're gonna get out of this public high school. And you're gonna go to Catholic high school. So they sent me to St. Francis Prep. I was a smart kid because it was a 75 and above passing that.
Oh, if you were under 75, you got kicked out of school.
You couldn't go to that school.
Oh,
Well, actually, 75 is passing in that school. So you had to have a decent GPA to get into that school.
C+ is, yeah.
Right.
It wasn't like, hey, I can skirt by with a 69. No,
I couldn't make it.
Yeah. I was pretty good up until like junior year of the end of junior year when I started driving. Then it was all downhill from there. But anyway, it was a great school. They called me Little Al Capone because I dressed to a T. They gave us uniforms, so they gave us a choice of the polo sweaters or like a button down with a tie. So I would wear button down with a fancy tie clip.
Yeah, baby.
I would put a vest on, dress pants, dress shoes. The teachers would be like, who the fuck is this kid?
Yeah.
He's out dressing me.
The teachers used to respect me so much because I was just a classy kid. They let me park when I started driving junior year. They let me park in the teacher parking lot.
Of course they would.
Staff
That's
parking
Joe's
lot,
car. That's
yeah.
Joe's
Of
car.
course they would.
And
Dress so good, you walk in, they think they owed you money.
I'm
man.
telling you. And then, I'm a little embarrassed to say, I started smoking when I was 16, cigarettes. And at that time, there was a smoking section in the park by the school. It's not there anymore. They don't do it anymore. But we used to be able to go on lunch or whatever and go have a cigarette. So I wouldn't want to walk all the way by the park to have a cigarette. So we had a few teachers that used to go smoke in the parking lot. So I would go into the parking lot. I'd be like, I would go shake their hand, and we would talk. And as they were talking, I would just pull out a cigarette. I would light it up, and they wouldn't say nothing. They wouldn't say nothing because they love talking to me.
Al Capone.
Yeah.
I love that. That school was a great school.
Little Al
They're probably
Capone.
afraid they say something. I might get whacked. Got a little Al Capone. Oh, hold on. You can't say nothing to Big
Right.
Joe, man. All right, hold on.
Stay
So he
away.
does what he wants, all right? You see those shoes? He can do whatever the fuck he wants.
Ma, you like my shoes? You like my shoes? Don't they look nice?
I was wearing Giorgio Brutini, which are very fancy dress Italian dress shoes. I was wearing them in high school.
So now,
Didn't know how to dress.
going to a Catholic school, you're obviously required to wear the uniform.
Right.
But are you required to wear certain shoes and certain, like, the pants and the shirt and the tie are the uniform, but
Right.
you could wear whatever shoes you wanted?
No, you had
They
to
had
wear
to
you
be-
had to wear loafers or they couldn't be sneakers. You couldn't wear sneakers.
But it had to be black dress shoes.
They had to be either black or brown. I believe it was black or brown.
But you
loafers.
went with the top of the line.
I went all out. I went all out.
Top, baby.
You want me to wear shoes? I'll wear shoes.
Did
Now,
you
what
wear-
happens if
Did
you
you wear
don't
jewelry
wear-
too?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Oh
yeah.
yeah. Like I said, I wore a tie clip. I wore
Pinky rings and everything?
Ring. I wore a watch. Oh yeah,
Come on.
Oh yeah.
Love it.
And when was this?
Love
The 90s?
I graduated. This was 97.
Oh yeah, you're in that time frame. You're in that era. That's when everyone still wore suits and ties to work. And
Dude, I love it, man.
I was like the first kid out of all my friends. I remember going to like Atlantic City and wearing like a sports coat and a button down, and everyone's like, "What are you wearing?" Like everyone's wearing like Avericks or whatever those T-shirts were back in the day. And then we used to wear suits. Like we still wear a suit or a button down every once in a while, but that was our outfit. Like when people would come on, they're like, "Oh, I thought I had like dressed to the nines because you guys." But then after every week doing it, you started running out of like suits. My wife's like, "You wore this suit like 3 episodes ago."
And this was also before we had merchandise. Now we have shirts and hats, so like we wear that.
Right.
But it's funny because I remember going to I think it was your birthday, and this was before the podcast. So this is maybe 6-7 years ago. We're going to your birthday in like Patchogue somewhere, and I remember wearing just like and it wasn't dressed to the nines. It was just a nice pair of jeans with some nice shoes. I had like a black T-shirt on, put a sport coat, a little pocket square, right, maybe a little lapel pin, and all your buddies like, "The fuck are you wearing,
Why
dude?
the fuck are you
We're going
dressed
to
like
a
that?"
bar." I was like, "I don't know, why not?" It's like I feel good in this. I feel like $1 million.
That's the only stuff I really spend money on. Like, not even clothes, like jeans and T-shirts and sweaters. I just wait for Christmas or my birthday for people to give me that. But when it's like comes to button downs or suits, that's the stuff I spend my money on that. Because the first time I ever got a custom sports coat, couldn't go back to
it
like going
feels
to
great.
like Macy's.
no.
It feels great when you
You
get
can't just buy off the rack anymore.
No, you can't go to Macy's
no,
anymore.
no.
You gotta.
You can't, dude.
It's
But you know what? It's
different
funny.
life.
You know
It's
what?
great.
I always I dress nice when I go on planes too, right? Whenever, especially if I'm traveling for work, always dress nice.
Yeah,
and
it depends
I
how I
always
feel
see
for that.
these people. I'm like, and I get it. You want to be comfortable on the plane, but there is a borderline to comfortable. You could be comfortable when, like right now, what you're wearing right now
Oh, I'm
looks great.
comfortable.
Nice sweater, nice pair of shoes, right? Go on a plane, so comfortable. But you see these people that I feel like they just rolled out of bed.
They're
on
in
a plane.
pajamas. They literally
Pikachu pajama
They're
pants.
in pajamas with like these UGG slippers. I go, what are you doing?
Yeah.
What I said, okay.
They want to be a little too comfortable.
What
Yeah,
if
a
you
little
were to sit
bit too
next? What
comfortable.
if you're sitting next to the person that could open up your freaking world business wise
Yeah.
and put you on the map? But now they're not even going to talk to you because you're wearing fucking slippers.
It's it's still first impressions still matter.
Yes,
Absolutely.
Yes.
100%.
And like on all my sports coats, I always have like a little American flag pin, and people will just talk to me just because I have that pin. They're like, "Hey man, I like that pin." I don't really see too many, and we just start going from there. But
A lot of people ask if I was in the military because of that pin.
yeah,
I say no, but I support everybody that is.
That's right.
And they
most
go,
definitely.
okay.
Are you a suit guy, or what kind of clothes do you like to wear?
I'm a suit guy. I wear a lot of sports jackets. I wear a lot of button downs. Stuff like that. I mostly pants, hardly ever jeans.
Mostly pants.
Mostly pants. I don't. I'm wearing a pair of jeans today, but usually dark jeans, like black jeans, whatever.
How many pairs of shoes do you own?
Oh, a lot.
I feel yeah.
I have
like there's
I have a
lot.
whole section in my closet, and I keep my shoes in in the boxes.
So you have to, can't get them
yeah.
dusty.
So I have them organized. I have labeled it for my Giorgio Brutinis, my floor shines. They're in their boxes, labeled and sized the way they're supposed to be. I'm told I'm a little diva when it comes to my shoes. I like my shoes.
What's your favorite pair that you have?
My favorite pair are Giorgio Brutinis, the boots.
Boots.
The boots. I have a pair of
Do
Giorgio
you
Brutinis.
have like one?
I gotta
dress boots?
I gotta Google these now.
Do you have like
Very
one
nice.
Black? Are they
one
black?
more set of types of shoes than most? Like, do you have more like of the type of boots they have than everything else, or is it kind of all evened out?
I believe it's all evened out.
Okay.
Yeah, it's all evened out.
Yeah,
Are they black boots?
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of the monk strap boots, monk strap dress shoes.
Those are nice.
You looking at them?
I'm looking at them right now.
Let me see. What they look like.
I don't know which ones they are.
Oh yeah, those are like okay. Those are nice. Those are classic.
These are it. These are it. They have a little bit of a point. There they are, right there.
Damn, those are some next
right
level.
here with the heel and everything.
The heel and everything.
Damn.
I'm naturally 6'1". With the heel, it makes me a little taller.
Oh yeah, that's funny too because I have a pair of my wife is from Texas and I some of my favorite shoes. I actually have one of my favorite pairs of shoes. The ones that I wore for my wedding, nice velvet loafers,
Nice.
beautiful shoes. But then I have my wife's from Texas, so I have my cowboy boots. And the cowboy boots have a heel, and I'm 6'4". When you put the heel on, it makes you like 6'6". And it's funny because like you stand next to people, they go, "Did you fucking grow, dude?" So nah, I got the boots on, man. I got the boots, okay. But they're nice. They got the ostrich leather, the full quill ostrich, man.
Are you still in Queens?
Mm-hmm. Still in Astoria.
What are some so for the people who aren't too familiar with Queens? What is Queens like where you are today, and what are some of your favorite places to eat in Queens?
Well, Queens today is the area I'm in, Astoria, is becoming mini Manhattan. I mean,
the people just keep moving out, man.
People from Manhattan are moving into Astoria because it's cheaper, of course. Not that much cheaper, but Long Island City area, they're building. They just keep on building. It used to be a different neighborhood. Now it's a lot of how do you say? It became more of a city than a neighborhood.
Melting pot.
Definitely a melting pot.
Okay.
Now it's all types of people, all ranges of ages. It's still a nice area. One of my favorite restaurants in Astoria, of course, is one of my good friend Rocco's, L'Incontro. South 31st and De Mars. It's one of the best restaurants, I would think, one of the best restaurants in New York.
What's it called?
L'Incontro. Trattoria L'Incontro.
So it's Italian joint.
Oh yeah, it's a tiny restaurant.
What's the
I thought it was Irish.
best dish there? Best dish there.
The best dish has to be the gnocchi with the truffle sauce.
Oh, okay. I got one for you. What makes a good Italian restaurant? Like you go, say you're going to Jersey, and you go to an Italian restaurant. What makes that restaurant good?
Has to be, I would say the pastas. The pastas, because like I said, my friend Rocco has a homemade pasta machine. Like he doesn't buy them at the supermarket, Rienzi or what. He makes his own pasta. It's homemade pasta.
That's the way it should be, though.
Which makes it totally different.
That's the way
totally
it should
amazing.
be.
And that's what makes a good Italian restaurant, their pasta.
Gotcha.
Their sauce, their
It's the way it should be, I'll tell you. Cause
I think it's a sauce too.
that too,
okay.
sauce. But again, that's got to be homemade as well.
I wanted to ask Joe, because you speak and read Italian, correct?
Correct.
Because ever since Justin went to Italy,
The DOCG, yeah.
so now I always look for this DOCG label, basically me saying the wine is made in Italy, or it follows the Italian procedure of wine.
Yes,
right?
so the DOCG is an Italian acronym that basically says that this wine is guaranteed to be from this region, controlled region.
I don't know if we would need glasses, but it's that blue text, and it's saying something like
Denominazione or something on the bottom.
Okay, this is called Val Porticella. It's a region. It's a region in Italy.
Okay. Now, what does it say? Now, on the very, right here, this blue, that really tiny blue, it says how do you say it? Denominazione de controllata origine garantita, or something like that.
You guys can see that because
Let me see.
I'm gonna be 41 years old.
Let me see if I can read it properly. Maybe you'll tell me what it means. But it's
Go ahead, read it to me.
Denominazione
The domination, yeah.
di origine controllata.
The origine controllata. It's
Controlled region.
controlled region. It's a control. That's basically what it's saying. It's a province or controlled region of where it's made.
And then in summer, so this one's DOC. There's another one called DOCG, which is garantita, which means just guaranteed that it's in.
Guaranteed.
interesting.
But so with this wine,
now I look at wine different, because I never used to look at this label. So when I was finding the bottle today, I was like, I got to find this DOC.
So there's certain
I just learned something new today because I didn't know that either.
So there's
Now
certain.
you know.
So yeah, when we were going when we went to Italy, which by the way, if you haven't been to Italy, I know you've been a few times, and I want to hear.
Just, I
want to
feel
hear.
like we talk about Italy at least once every episode.
I have to. We have an Italian. I got to talk about it. And I want to hear this. I want you to tell the story about Italy. But when we went there, we drink a lot of Italian wines, and there's certain wines that will have that on there. If you get a Super Tuscan, you won't have that, because a Super Tuscan, basically, they kind of break all the rules. They can do whatever the hell they want, and it's more of a blend. But if you have ones like Brunello di Montalcino, Barolos, Chiantis, they'll have that. I always say just look for that, because that basically means like that's a good bottle. It's guaranteed to be in this controlled environment. As opposed to if it doesn't have the label, then there's no guarantees. It might be good, might be.
Yeah.
Not saying that those are bad, but you have a better shot if you have that label. But speaking of Italy, there's a story about you were in the Amalfi Coast, or you were in Positano.
Positano.
Yes. So
you know what story we're
tell
thinking
us
about.
this story.
486 steps to get to the beach from my uncle's house. 400. I'm going to repeat that. 486 steps, because I've counted. Was there for 2 weeks. So
Steps meaning going up and down steps.
Up and down. It's
For
one
people
way.
that don't know Positano, it's like there's no road to get down there. You get dropped off at the top, And if you want to get down, you got to freaking walk.
His beautiful house, of course, beautiful town. Beaches is amazing. I was there for 2 weeks. Lost 36 pounds. Why? Because there was 486 steps to get to the beach from my uncle's house. Going down and going up. Going down wasn't a problem. It was, your legs vibrated a little bit. You work up a sweat, but nothing was the hell of going up those stairs. And I'm talking about I was a young kid. I didn't smoke. I was in shape, so I wasn't heavy as I was now. But it was still 486 steps.
What's the elapsed time you think going down and then going up?
Going down, I was probably down there in about 20 minutes.
Wow.
About 20 minutes. Going up, took about an hour.
What?
Took about an hour. I would take breaks. I would
take
sit
water
down.
breaks and shit for that.
Yeah,
huh?
it was just, because it was not a straight staircase. It's corners. There's hills. There's roads. There's very small steps, very big steps. It was an experience.
So it's 486?
486 steps from his house.
So I looked it up. The average number of steps for a flight of stairs is like 13 to 16. So if you do 486 steps divided by 15, 486 divided by 15 steps, that's 32 flights. That's like climbing a 30-story building.
So Big Joe, years ago, I was 93. I was about 11.
So this is the little Capone stage.
30-story building.
I
Every day.
did that, 32. But this is the best part. I don't know if I remember telling you guys this. My uncle, the son of a bitch that he was, all right, and I hope he hears this one day. He's very old. He probably doesn't hear this anymore. The last day was there for 2 weeks. So he goes, in Italian. He goes, mi ginocchio mi fanno male. He goes, my knees kind of hurt. I'm a little tired. I don't want to go up these stairs to go upstairs to have lunch. So I'm looking at him like, okay.
Well, we got to go up the stairs.
Call a fucking helicopter. He goes, you know what? Let's take the elevator over here by the hotel. It takes us right by the house.
Excuse me?
I looked at him. I said, what did you, what? I turned around to my mother in English. I said, what did he just say? Because he said it was all in Italian. I said, what did you just say? He goes, she starts laughing. Says, there's a fucking elevator here. And for 2 fucking weeks, this son of a bitch made me go up the stairs.
There is no way he didn't do that on purpose.
You must have did something to him back in the
Did you
day.
smack him in the back of the head or something?
He just wanted to be a wise guy. And, well, I never talked to him since. So
Oh, my
I was really pissed
God.
off.
I haven't talked to him.
Oh,
talked to
my
him since,
God.
I don't know if I talked to my uncle too.
I
if he
want
made
to
me do
take
that
the
or not.
elevator. The what?
Excuse me?
What'd you say?
So that's like over 60 flights of 60 flights.
It's 30.
Round
It's
trip.
30, it's 30 flights.
No, we used to go to the beach every day for 2 weeks. So that's 14 days.
Oh,
Do the math.
my.
So it's
14
30
days.
flights down, 30 flights up
Okay.
every single day.
So 60 times 14?
Minus the last day going up.
600, that's 840.
60 times 13 for the last day, right? What'd you say, Just?
Well, it's 780 then.
Damn, engineer junior. 780.
So
780 's
800.
right.
You did 800 flights of stairs.
How many flights was in the Twin Towers? Do we know that?
100 and something, 130 or something like that.
Yeah, it's not
Something
going
like-
up and down.
Something like that. It's over 100. I know it's over 100. So
That's
So
crazy.
you ever want to get into shape? Go to my uncle's house in Positano and go up down the stairs every
Did you
day
think
to
you
go
were
to the
Rocky going up those steps?
beach.
yeah, at the top.
I
you
did
go a
have
couple,
Rocky in my head. We had back then we had Walkmans, so I had my Walkman with my tape, but I think I had the Rocky.
The
songs
Walkman.
in
I,
there.
you know what's? I was talking to somebody the other day about the Walk because I used to have a Walkman in high school.
Okay.
I used to have the book of CDs every day. You know,
Oh,
in between
yeah.
classes. What I got 3 minutes to get to my next class. What song do I want to listen to? Right. And I remember telling people, I said, and I was talking to somebody who was similar age, and I'm 33, and I was like, yeah, I had the Walkman. Did you ever Walkman? He goes, yeah, I had a Walkman. I said, did you have to hold it a certain way? If you held it a little too, then it starts skipping. You have to hold it a certain
You're
way.
talking about the Walkmans that used to play CDs. Well, my Walkman played cassettes.
You had the cassette Walkman. Okay.
A yellow
Alright.
one too.
The yellow one, yeah, with the little earbud thing.
I saw a video the other day, and it was about LeBron James, and it said LeBron James has been in the NBA this long, and it's him in the locker room pulling out his CD Walkman, putting on his premium. I'm like, damn, that's old.
He's been in 21 seasons, man. It's wild.
Are you a NBA, NFL guy?
I love sports. I'm a big baseball guy. I'm a big Yankee fan.
Okay.
Football, Giant fan. Basketball, the Knicks. They didn't win the championship in my lifetime, but hopefully one day.
Yeah, well,
kidding, man.
Jordan kind of. You know what's funny is if Jordan never existed, the Knicks would have had like 4 championships.
Yeah.
They got screwed.
And the one time he wasn't, they made it and still lost.
Dude, they're one of like the best team that they've had in a long time back in the 90s. just happened to be during the Jordan era.
Right,
Like
right,
it just
right. The
it
Patrick
just
Ewing
happened to be during the Jordan era.
Oh
you know?
yeah. Well, here's a question for you guys. So you guys like basketball, right?
I played basketball.
Yeah.
So here's my question to you, because I asked this question to all basketball
Oh
fans.
boy.
LeBron James or Michael Jordan?
I like MJ.
Okay.
I like MJ.
We're gonna open up this can of worms here.
He's the basketball buff.
They're so they're two different players, in my opinion. Okay. The way they don't play the same way. Michael Jordan had done things that nobody had ever seen. Okay.
Right.
If you want somebody to score, and I need somebody to score, it's LeBron. It's Michael. Michael's a scorer. He's not passing the ball. Yes, he can defend. He can do all this. He can steal, right? But he's not going out and putting up a triple-double every day. He's going out and he's going to put up 45, 50 points and have maybe 5 assists, 5 rebounds. LeBron is more of a pass first. He can score, but he's going to go out and score 30 points, 10 rebounds, 10 assists.
Okay.
So
makes
it's
sense.
so when you're comparing, like, I don't think you should compare LeBron and Jordan. I think LeBron is more like Magic Johnson. They play that way. LeBron's more of a facilitator and making everybody better. I think Kobe is more like Jordan.
That's what I was gonna say. Everyone always forgets
it's-
Kobe.
There's a killer in. I also, I don't think that, and I'm a LeBron lover. Okay, and if you look at some of the stats, and if you look at just the sheer, like, if you're building a basketball player, LeBron is what you build, right? 6'8", 265, runs like a gazelle, jumps like a freaking kangaroo, and he can do everything. Okay, but if you're looking at like, you just want somebody that has like literally a killer instinct, it's Jordan and Kobe.
I agree.
I've seen LeBron turn it on a few times and he's unstoppable. I've seen it happen when he had his back against the wall against Golden State in the finals and was just unstoppable. Went triple-double, went 40-40 triple-double and was just... So they're two different types of players. Okay. I think a better question is, because people always ask who's the greatest basketball player of all time. I think it should be who's the best in their position of all time. Because Michael played the 2, LeBron plays the 3. Different. LeBron also plays the 1 sometimes.
Well, that's not the question. The question is
LeBron.
time.
The question is LeBron.
Off the rip, I just say I like MJ. When you have to make up people talking shit to you to just be the killer, you're a psycho, and to get it done, that's different. That's a different breed. Yeah, it's if like, oh, this motherfucker right here is talking shit. He talks about my piece. I'm gonna fucking murder him.
Yeah,
that's a
tough,
different mentality, bro.
Right.
I'm more of like a Kobe guy, right? Because I didn't grow up watching LeBron. I grew up watching Kobe.
Same.
So I'm more of like a Kobe guy, but Michael. I didn't grow up watching Mike, but
Kobe number 8, not Kobe number 24.
Dude, it's. Yeah, that's tough. That's a very tough question to answer. And I'm the basketball guy, okay? I played all my life, played all through college and everything, and that's such a difficult question. I hate when people ask me that because I'm like, I don't know.
Oh, I apologize. I take it back.
I was like, I don't know, man. It's
a very hot debate. What about, okay, here's another debatable question. Ready? Is it sauce or is it gravy?
Oh.
Yeah, I know what it feels, man.
It's sauce. To me, it's sauce. The normal. Listen, gravy it's put on turkey. It's put on the roast beef. It's not sauce. Sauce and gravy are two different things.
It's crazy.
In my
Thank
opinion,
you. Thank you.
A lot of people think put some gravy in your pot. It's sauce.
I distinguish it one simple fact.
Red and brown.
Gravy has flour. Sauce doesn't.
There you go.
I grew up.
Gravy has flour. You put gravy on mashed potatoes. You put gravy on turkey. Sauce doesn't have flour. If you're making tomato sauce, you're not putting flour in it. I don't care if you put meat in it. You're not putting flour in there.
I still call it sauce. My whole life was sauce until I met my wife and her family. They all call it gravy. What's our buddy's name in this picture over here? From Italy too as well. What's his name? The bear, Teddy the bear.
Dario.
Dario the bear.
The bear.
That picture right here, that stack, that 3-1.
The top one.
Oh, okay.
So this is our friend Dario, and he's straight from Italy.
He's a soccer player, right?
I think he was a soccer player. So I asked him the same thing, and he said, no sauce, no gravy, it's ragu. And I was like, okay. I said, all right, that's a different.
All right, so let me. So your whole family's from Italy, right? Everybody's from Italy.
Yeah.
Which are there different regions that call it different things? Like Northern calls it sauce, Southern calls it gravy.
If you're from Italy, I'm first generation Italian. My mother was actually born there. My father was born here. My father's parents were born there. But I am first generation Italian. My mother's from Naples, so I know it's the regions of the Amalfi Coast.
Been there, yep.
And my father's Sicilian, from Palermo. And they cook it different. They have different ways of cooking their sauce. But if you go up and down the boot, okay, including Sicily, it's sauce. It's not gravy. It's not going to be called gravy in Milan and sauce in Naples. It's sauce. Asas.
So that's got it. That confirms it.
It's it's so debatable because I grew up sauce, but then I started noticing before my grandma passed away, towards the later parts of her years, she would call it gravy, and I'm like, Grandma, you never used to, and she's old, she's from Italy. I'm like, you never used to call it gravy. She goes, yes, I have. I'm like, I grew up with you making sauce. Now you call it gravy. I'm like, what's the switch? She never gave me an answer. But
it's funny because see, I'm from Germany. My family is from Germany, and we call it's gravy. Like they put gravy on everything. Okay, and that's where it's like, all right, gravy's got flour in it, and then to me, the tomato sauce is sauce. But it's funny. You go to Italy. He said that's got to be I'll
give you another little fun fact. Just because Christmas has just passed. Christmas Eve. You guys ever heard of the seven fishes?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
All right. All the Italians they say, the seven fishes have seven fishes. I recently found out that the seven fishes is an Italian American thing because in Italy they didn't have the seven fishes. It was whatever your town or whatever made fish wise on Christmas Eve, but it wasn't seven fishes. The seven fishes came from Italian Americans that had people from different regions of Italy, like let's say, like for instance myself, I'm Napoletano and Sicilian, so we had different fishes that we cooked for Christmas Eve. So all these different regions that cook, let's say bacalao or calamari in this region, or lobster and eel in another region, they combined that in the United States, and then that's how they made the seven fishes. I didn't know that.
So it's all these different people that said, I cook it at home. When
I
I
went
in Italy,
we make it this. So now we make it that. And then that's how the seven fishes started, Christmas Eve.
All right, so this just popped into my head. There's a restaurant in Positano, and I wonder if it was there when you were there. I think it's called Chez Black, Chez Black, Chez Black, but I think they call it Chez Black. Is that ring a bell at all?
It does not, but I did hear that the restaurant, one of the most famous restaurants in Positano, when I went, it changed the name a few times. When I went, it was called Le Tre Sorelle. And do you remember where this restaurant was located?
Yes. So Positano, if you're at the water, right? If you're at the water and you're looking at Positano, it's all the way on the left before you kind of go up and around to the other side. It's all the way on the left.
Well, don't quote me, but the restaurant you're talking about is probably the restaurant that I'm talking about. It just changed names.
And it's like you're sitting at, you can look at the water. It's like on the. Yes. Okay, maybe that's the one then. I remember eating, and it's funny because I remember going in there and it was packed. And a lot of famous people go there. They got pictures and everything. And I remember walking up, and I see this whole line of people, and I'm like, honey, and she's starving. I said, all right, let's just see. So I go up to the guy, and I said it. I was really trying to learn Italian. Sto imparando italiano. That's what I kept saying, right?
Bravo.
So I was trying to learn.
His brain
Italian.
is like a sponge.
So I was saying, what was it? Un tavolo per due? Is that how you say it?
Table for two.
The table for two. Per favore, right?
Very good.
So I would say it, right? And they obviously knew, like, I'm American, okay? So they knew, like, but they appreciate, like, I just said it. I said, per favore, un tavolo per due, per favore. And he's like, he looked around, he's like, okay, come here. And it was packed. Like, there was a wait list and everything. And I just asked him very nicely, please, like, if it's okay. No. He's like, looked around, no problem. He walks over, there's a reserve thing. He takes it off, he tosses it, he goes, please, sit down. I was like, nice. Kelly goes, what'd you do? I was like, I don't know, I just asked for a table in Italian. He's like, no problem. Is it? I was like, awesome.
I love that. Yeah, I can't. My wife has always tried to teach me Italian, and she always says I sound like Chinese or Asian. She's like, just say come te chiami. I'm like, come te chiami. She's like, no, come te chiami. I'm like, come te chiami. She's like, you sound like you're Chinese. I'm like, what? I'm saying exactly.
In perfect Italian language, it's come ti chiamo.
Como te chiamo?
Okay, because you're obviously a male. If you're asking a female that question, you would use the A at the end. Come ti chiama. See, in the Italian language, in the real Italian language, not dialect, because dialect just confused the both of you right now with dialect. Totally.
Do you speak a dialect?
I speak both dialects. I'm very fluent in Napoletan dialect because that's what we spoke mostly at home. I'm fluent in Sicilian dialect, which is totally different from Napoletan dialect, and totally different from perfect Italian. I also understand a Barese dialect, which does sound like Chinese, because it's a very different region and they speak very differently. And there's also an Abruzzese dialect from Abruzzo, It's totally different. But I know these dialects because I have family members and friends that are from these regions. But the perfect Italian, because I studied in school, the vowels change when you're talking to a male or female. If you're using plural or you're using single, it's very, very difficult to learn.
Do you besides obviously Italian tradition, is there any other nationality traditions that you enjoy? Do you like the Irish traditions? Do you like anything else, or is it just straight?
Oh no, I love other traditions.
I love shepherd's pie. Like I'm half Italian, right? So
I do like shepherd's pie. Actually.
Shepherd's pie is so fucking good. My wife's all Italian, so the end all be all is just Italian. And if you don't like anything else besides Italian, she's like you're fake Italian. I'm like, can you make me shepherd's pie? And she's like,
I'm fake Italian, okay?
But shepherd's pie is fucking delicious.
Shepherd's pie is good. Minus the carrots. I don't like carrots. So
okay.
When I had an ex that was Irish, and her mother was full blown Irish, and she made the best shepherd's pie, and she would know that I didn't like carrots, so she wouldn't put carrots in the shepherd's pie.
What about like corned beef? You big corned beef guy?
I like it. I
I
enjoy it.
I like it's like only on Easter, but like I'll have a little bit of it. Can you cook? Do you cook at all?
Oh yeah, I know how to cook.
All right, what's your dish? Yeah. Tell us your dish. Like, what's your signature? Like, somebody's coming over. You got a long lost friend that's coming over.
We're coming over. Eric and Justin.
And you got him. Yeah, we're coming over. You making a dish.
Well, I make a nice appetizer first. So I'll make a nice, do a nice spread with different types of cheeses. I'll put some rice balls. I know how to make good rice balls.
Love a good rice ball.
That's so. I'll always start with that. As a nice appetizer. Then of course I got to make you guys a nice pasta dish. I got to find out what kind of pasta you guys like.
Anything, as long as it's homemade.
We can make a nice cavatelli, or we can make a nice
garlic and oil.
Something very simple, very natural, and very, to the T.
So how many courses are we talking here? So we have.
You're gonna come over my house. I'm gonna give you about appetizer, pasta.
So we got a little bit of cheese. We got some rice balls, a little pasta. What we got next?
And it depends on what you guys like as far as meat. I can make a nice, best chicken cutlets. I can make a nice chicken franchise, which was one of my favorites. A chicken marsala.
Chicken franchise is your favorite?
Is one of my favorites.
You can't go wrong. I would take a nice thin, dark chicken cutlet. I don't think there's really anything better in this world than a nice crispy thin.
You
get
a nice fresh chicken cutlet. Nice hot.
Oh yeah, the best.
Dude, love it.
I just there's nothing I can eat it every day. Now you work in the Bronx, right?
I work all over, but most of the Bronx.
So you're in the Bronx occasionally, right? So
he does a couple things here, a couple
things over here, over there. How you doing? Bada bing, bada boom.
Influence a couple people.
Yeah. So today's Thursday. So if you're ever in the Bronx and you want to visit a nice spot in New Rochelle, which isn't far from the Bronx. It's this place called La Rosa Pizzeria, and it's a pizza spot, really family, old school, right? They have good pizza, but on Thursdays, do you like burgers? Do you like cheeseburgers?
Of course.
Okay, so on Thursdays only, they do
Who doesn't like cheeseburgers?
They do Smash Burger Thursdays.
Burger Thursdays.
Oh my! I went there last week with my brother-in-law. He's like, I've been here two times in the last week.
Smash Burger Thursdays.
So you go to this place, La Rosa Pizza in New Rochelle. And
where in New Rochelle? Because I know New Rochelle pretty good.
It's I'll tell you right now. It's right by where is it? I'll tell you right now. And I just went there for the first time last Thursday, and he's like, you got to come on Thursday for the Smash Burger Thursdays, and I'm like, I'm there. And we had pizza, and then we had and like everyone was there. They're like, all right, everyone's here. Like the burgers are not gonna take like 45 minutes. We might be out of fries. Like everyone was there. So this is Pizza La Rosa on Russell Avenue in New Rochelle. So it's
Russell Avenue. Okay.
It's right by. What is it? Right by? It's right by. It's on right off of Main Street. You wouldn't know.
Okay.
What's it called again?
La Rosa Pizzeria.
La Rosa.
And it's. Oh my God! I had this. We had rice balls, we had pizza, we had salad, and then the smash burgers came in, and I was like, "Do you eat meatballs out? Are you a meatball person where you don't eat them out? You only eat them homemade?"
I like them mostly homemade. I usually, if I go to a restaurant, I'm not gonna order meatballs. No.
Sure. I'll tell you this. My wife's the same way. She likes her mom's meatballs. She puts the bread in it and everything like that.
Yeah.
Lorraine's meatballs the best. But I took her out for her birthday once to. His friend used to manage. Lavo.
Yeah.
And the dish there was just a giant meatball. And she's like,
oh, wow.
She's like, oh, are you sure you want to get it? I'm like, Marissa,
trust me.
I won't steer you wrong. And she still talks about it to this day. This was years ago. She goes, the only meatball I'll eat outside of my mother's house is at Lavo.
You know they're closing down?
No.
Yeah, that restaurant's
Have you ever
closing
been
down.
there?
Never been there. What's so special about the meatball?
It's first of all, it's ginormous, but it's the sauce, and it's just the ingredients inside. I couldn't.
Ginormous, is that a real word?
Yeah, it's like it's like the size of a softball. It comes in this little tiny cast iron
see if I can pull
skillet,
it up.
and
Big
it's got.
meatball. So it's like
It's a big meatball, but they use 3 different types of meat. They use a veal. They use they use a
okay.
veal,
It's the ingredients,
a
that's what
pork,
makes it
and
good.
I
That's
think
what makes it good.
they use a veal, a pork, and they might even use like a Kobe beef as well. But
It's like a $30 meatball.
It's nice. It's good. But yeah, I heard that they're closing that place down. But
yeah, here it is. This is what it looks like.
Let's check it out. Oh wow.
yeah,
Oh wow.
it's good.
It's
good
a whole
stuff.
meal in
with
itself.
the ricotta cheese on.
Oh, that's got. Oh
yeah,
yeah,
it's good stuff.
That looks really good.
So
It's
my
good
wife
stuff.
was like, and she just brought it up the other day. It's made me think of it. She's like, the only meatball I have is if we go to Lavo, and I'm like,
And this place is closing down. You said.
I don't know when, but I heard. I don't know if
How
it's
far is this place from here?
it's in Manhattan, so it's up by.
Oh, it's not in Long Island.
No,
no, it's Manhattan.
All right, so what's your go-to restaurant? You had said it was your
My
your
friend's
buddies.
restaurant, yeah.
Now, how far away is that? Is that in?
It's in Astoria. It's about 5 minutes away from my house.
That's like we're coming to, if we come to Astoria to come.
Oh,
have
that's the
dinner,
restaurant to go to,
That's
yeah.
where we're going to.
Absolutely.
We have to
Absolutely.
schedule something because I'm hungry. Now I'm hungry.
There's a bar in Queens that I've wanted to. I'm in Queens pretty frequently, but the original bar from Goodfellas is still open in Queens. I forgot where it is. I notated it on my map somewhere. Do you know where that? Have you ever been there? Do you know where it is?
the bar,
the bar itself.
the bar
I
that they
believe-
light a match.
with the pink Cadillac. With the pink
I
Cadillac.
believe that's in Howard Beach.
It's
the one where they light a match and they
no, that's the
you bust the joint out.
that's the restaurant.
Look like you're decorating a Christmas tree.
I don't know what the fuck you're doing.
Oh my!
See what you in your fucking mouth.
I
Me and
love,
my fuck-
I love that movie, man. There's so many good
Oh
lines
my
in that
God.
movie. So many good lines.
And the car's cold. Get the fuck out of here. You won't fucking warm it up. Get out of here.
No, make coffee.
I better have
Make
food
that
and
coffee to
drinks.
go.
You know, speaking of Rocky, right? So I read the book, the Lufthansa, about Henry Hill. He was a co-author
yep.
on this book, the Lufthansa heist.
Oh yeah.
And in the book, he was talking about not the major robbery they did that was like millions of dollars. There was the one before they made like $400,000, and they're like,
Yes,
it's gonna be a good summer.
That was also in the movie. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
So
You know,
in
my dad knows the guy that gave him that.
who
gave
doesn't?
that.
Everyone knows that.
My
guy.
dad worked at Lufthansa for 30 years.
Oh,
and I
that's
asked
right.
my
There you
dad,
go.
I'm like, because it's funny, my dad was he was supervisor of cargo in his later years. So I'd ask him, like, Dad, did you know the?
Oh, that's
Because you were in cargo, and that's a cargo ship. That's what my dad would tell me about planes. He goes, we used to ship cash, like. He goes, because it was all cargo. He goes, we used to, millions and millions. He would tell me, he goes, $1 million and $100 bills weighs about 22 kilos or whatever it is. And so I told him, I asked him, did you know? Like, he goes, I wasn't in cargo at the time. He goes, but I knew the guy who, like I didn't know him like personally, but I knew of him.
I knew a guy.
He's like, I knew of him, and I like.
Before I was interrupted by Justin.
Yeah, so I was adding to the story. Okay,
as you always do.
I was adding.
So
Love
when
these guys. The best.
Justin is, sometimes I got to reel him in sometimes because we get him going.
I get excited. I'm like, ooh, I got a piece of the story I could add.
So, but when that first robbery where they walked away with like $400,000, Henry was talking about in the book. As we're in the van with all the cash, we're all pumped up, excited. The Rocky theme song, "Flying High." He's like, they came on the radio. We're speeding away, and we're all listening to "Flying Higher." And I was like, wow, that's such a little fun fact. I would never think of that.
They don't put that in the movie.
No, of course not. But in the book, that's why you got to read the book. But it's Neil's Tavern. That's the bar.
Neil's Tavern.
It's 78th Street in Queens, Woodhaven, I think it is.
Oh, Woodhaven. Oh,
Let me see.
That's got to be far.
that's
from
like by Howard Beach.
Yes.
Yeah, Woodhaven leads into Cross Bay
Yes, you're
Boulevard,
right.
which is Howard Beach.
Right outside Highland Park, it looks like.
Highland Park.
Highland Park and Forest Park Golf Course, right here.
Oh, I know exactly what that is. That's on Woodhaven, and that's basically.
So yeah, look,
say it-
it's still. I mean, it's still there. It still looks like Goodfellas. I mean,
We got to go there, man.
I mean, Robert De Niro's standing right there. You know.
Oh, is that's the bar where he stabs him in the neck with the pen?
Yeah, you know, and
No,
the
that's
pink Cadillac.
That's
It's the
casino. You got your movies mixed
Oh, well,
up.
is that the same bar though?
what?
That looks like the same bar in Casino where he stabs the guy in the neck.
I don't know about that. I know about Goodfellas, but maybe
It looks similar, but I don't think so.
No, that is Goodfellas. When the guy is like, "Oh, why don't you go get your
Goodfellas.
fucking shine box?"
Yes, yeah, Goodfellas, yes.
Yeah, and then he comes back.
You
He's
said
like,
stab
"Make
him
sure he
with-
doesn't leave," and he
you said
kills
stab
him.
him with a pen though.
No,
but he-
that's Casino when he stabs him with the pen.
You said pen.
Did I say pen?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I meant the part where he says,
Yeah,
go
yeah,
get your
go
fucking
shine
shine
box.
box.
Yeah, it's the
yeah,
same
and then he
bar.
comes back and beats the shit out of him.
Yeah, right. Keep that motherfucker here.
Keep that motherfucker here. Okay.
So
That's the scene I was talking about.
I think, I think some
go
number
get your
like
fucking shine box, kid.
yeah, Billy Bats.
Billy Bats.
Billy
and then he
Bats.
goes, I didn't want to get blood on your floor. That's the bar.
Yes,
Right?
Neil's Tavern. So
Neil's Tavern.
I think Neil's Tavern is like 78% of the bar scenes in that movie. Some strange number like that. But yeah, it still exists.
What does he kill him with in that movie, in that scene? I'm drawing a blank.
They just beat the shit out of him.
He just beats the shit out of him?
They don't kill him.
They were hitting him with a handgun. They were hitting him with the handgun.
Oh, yeah.
Kicking him.
And a handgun broken. Yes.
And I think he was going to shoot him in the face. What happened was Robert De Niro kicked the gun, and the gun just fell apart.
Yeah.
You know?
And then he was still alive in the trunk. You know, that's
How
the
he
beginning.
died was when he stabbed him.
Yeah,
You know?
classic.
Oh, yeah, when he's in the back of the trunk and he's, what
Yeah.
the fuck is that?
Neil's Tavern.
Well,
Queens.
speaking about books, just really quick, I'll mention that whole scene was real. It was a real event that happened, and what happened was that he was part of the Gambino family, the guy Billy Bats, in real life, and Tommy was actually killed by John Gotti because
I've heard that.
Because of that.
You heard that, right? I read that.
Yes, that's what I should say. I read
So that's
that.
the real
Yes.
reason why, like, in the
That's-
movie they whacked
in the movie
Tommy.
they whacked Tommy,
They
but
said you're going to get made, but they whack
Right.
him.
But in reality, he wasn't supposed to do that, like it says in the movie. And the fun fact is that John Gotti actually had him killed.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I've definitely heard
And
that.
Tommy in real life wasn't the Tommy Joe Pesci played. Tommy in real life was a
was a
really
big boy.
tall, big guy.
Tommy
Really?
DeSimone.
D. Simone.
Yeah.
So he does his reading.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, what's the thing about isn't there a link with like the Four Seasons with that guy Tommy and Joe Pesci or something? Isn't there a link
Yes,
somewhere?
Tommy DeVito, right? Was it Tommy DeVito?
There's a link of somewhere like the guy like in the movie in the Four Seasons movie,
Jersey Boys.
the Jersey Boys movie.
Four Seasons
The
movie,
guy
okay.
that like
He's just jumping from movie to movie.
yeah, I know, but there was a
The
link.
pen.
I read some story and I'm trying to remember the link, but in the movie Jersey Boys, there's a guy that is kind of like their little weasel guy that he's like made the connection for him.
That's
and it
Joe
turns out
Pesci.
that's Joe Pesci.
Yes,
That's Joe Pesci
yes.
in real life.
Real life Joe Pesci.
Yes,
life Joe
yes,
Pesci.
Yes, that is correct.
Okay, so
You are
no
correct.
connection to like the
Right.
Goodfellas movie, but connection to Joe Pesci.
Exactly.
Frankie
That
Valli.
was really him.
That guy actually worked for Joe Pesci. When Joe Pesci became famous, he actually started working for Joe Pesci.
That's right. I read it something like
It all happened in Jersey. A lot of fucked up things happened in Jersey. You know?
Yeah, a lot of good history facts.
Yes.
Yeah, I've always
I
been.
love those fun facts. Those
Oh,
little,
love 'em.
I love
Love
hearing
'em.
about
It
that
makes things
stuff.
so much better. But I've always been, I wouldn't say a mafia historian, but I always took a lot of interest in just that lifestyle, just how much power they had. Like the mafia,
I just liked how they always dressed well.
during
Always.
World War II, the government went to Lucky Luciano. World War II, World War One.
It was World War II.
World War II, and
They went to Lucky Luciano to invade Sicily. They weren't able to invade Sicily unless
Yes.
they went,
Find that one fact bizarre that the military, the government went to Lucky Luciano and said, "Hey, we want to go into Italy, but we can't get in. We know you got to connect. Can you hook it up?" And
I'll tell you another fun fact when it comes to government and the mob. The government actually tried the CIA and the mob actually tried to kill Castro during
did.
the Kennedy years.
Wait,
They,
the government went to the mob and said, "We need you to."
They were coinciding to assassinate Castro. They wanted the mob's help because the mob had casino and millions and millions of dollars invested in Cuba. So
Yeah.
when Castro took it over, that was all gone. So they wanted revenge too. So the government said, "Let's go to the mob," and they actually were conspiring to kill Castro.
Wow,
Never
we're trying
did,
to
but-
hire a hitman.
wow,
Right? Can you imagine that?
Wow,
yeah, and that just
and that's something they won't tell you.
and that's just what I mean. Like it was obviously way different back in that day, but
Yes.
it was more inclusive and a little more gentleman and classy like. But it's just bizarre, like some of the things that they were able to do. I mean, a lot of the mafia movies is one reason why I like Cigar so much. I just because I got into cigars just because of
Paulie.
what happened.
I said Paulie from Goodfellas.
Oh yeah, well
It's always like that.
yeah, he's always smoking a cigar. See what I mean, Joe? He's interrupting me again. You know what I mean? See what I deal with on a daily basis?
That's why you guys work together so well.
I know. I got a big mouth, man.
You know, it's good.
Put a microphone in front, it doesn't stop.
It's good. It's good sometimes because sometimes I don't feel like always talking. I can always just rely on Justin just to do the legwork. But I always like cigars because of what it resembled. I always like the guys in the suits, whether it's mafia guys, business guys. It always remind me of like success. And then put a suit on in front of a cigar. I'm like, man, those guys look cool. And
Well, if you say you like to read, there's a book that he passed away recently too. How to Be a Gentleman. Like it's a book he wrote. One of the mob characters. I'm drawing a blank right now. I'm sorry.
I can Google it. I'll Google it while you light your cigar.
While you think about it,
It's called How to Be a Gentleman. Is that it?
I'm just trying to think of the actor's name who recently passed away.
Oh.
He played Phil in Sopranos.
oh yes,
Phil
I'm
from.
drawing a blank. I'm sorry.
yeah, his name is gonna pop right in my head as soon as you say it. He was on the cover of Cigar Aficionado too at one point.
Yes.
Yeah, hold on. He just passed away. Yes, hold on. I'm gonna find it. But while Justin looks it up, another interesting book was talking about Bonanno, right?
It was
Phil
Leotardo.
Yeah, that was his name.
Who
That
plays
was his
him?
character.
Who plays Phil? Frank Vincent.
Frank Vincent. Yes.
Now look up his book.
Now he wrote a book that
Frank Vincent.
it's a great book. If you haven't read it, you got to read it.
And I think
A Guy's Guide to Being a Man's Man.
There you go.
There's
Okay.
the book.
And his face is on the cover of that book.
Yep, here it
let me
is.
see.
And it's amazing.
With a cigar.
Yes. Okay, that's the picture I'm thinking of. All right, maybe
Okay.
not
Yep.
Cigar Aficionado. All right. So go on.
Oh no, it's a great book. He teaches you how to be a man, how to smoke a cigar, how to talk to women, to be an old school, respectful gentleman.
Yeah.
You know?
a guy's guy.
The guy's
A
guy.
guy's guy. Sure.
Lord knows we need a whole lot more.
I think and
more
there's
people should be reading that book nowadays.
Really?
I'll tell you.
Real sure.
And I think there's a clip of him. And it's probably talking about his book, but he's talking about like today's. This is back, I guess, maybe when he wrote his book, but how guys in general today's age, they're just not. It's not the same anymore. They dress different. They act different. They do a lot of different things differently, like how our fathers and grandfathers grew up.
The style today is like,
I know.
Which brings back to what I was saying before about myself, that people gravitate because I don't want to say I emulate that image or I try to be that image. I just the way I dress or whatever, the way I talk.
It's
or
what
whatever.
comes with it.
That's what they gravitate
Yeah.
to. Like they miss that old style. Like Joe has something. He's something different. He's not the guys that are doing the feud reviews and the people that are unusual on social media. He has something different about him, and it's true. It's I have that little bit of old school because I came from the generation of, before the computer and after the computer. Like I'm like basically before the internet and after the internet. So I'm in between. So I experienced it when we first started, and I experienced it before we had these headphones. So it's just like that's what they
mean.
they like.
yeah. That's what I think. Like I said, that our generation is the last of the
Go outside and play.
to
Right.
go outside and play. Exactly.
Yes.
Because when I was in high school, I didn't. The first phone I got, I was a junior in high school, and it wasn't this. It was a prepaid like Nokia. It was my mother said the only reason you're getting this is because now you're going to be going to like travel, like you're going to be after school hours and stuff. You need a ride, you call me on this.
Oh, yeah.
That's it. You're not texting your friends. You're not on the internet. You're
not doing any of
This is
that.
prepaid, and it's cost me 25 cents a call, whatever it is, and you got $5 for the month. Like that's
Make it last.
and that's
Make it
yeah,
last, right?
and make it last. Okay, and if you're out, then guess what? You can use your own money, go work, get a card, put it back.
How is it? How is it? You have a son, right?
Yes.
So how is it raising a son? With cell phones, internet, YouTube.
Oh, it's
Does he have a cell
I'm
phone?
sure it's not. I'm sure it's not the same way you did.
It's
You grew
not
up.
cheap. That I tell you. Like I just for Christmas he just got his first Apple Watch.
Oh boy,
After when he graduated.
they don't sell Apple Watches anymore. They're kaput. Did you know that?
I heard something about that this
Apple
morning.
Watches
Actually,
are no more. They make no more Apple Watches.
Why is that? What happened?
So again, our friend Tommy G, who was an Apple guy, I said, hey, I heard some of these things with Apple, like they stole technology from a different company, and he said, what did he say? He said like conflicting ideas or something like that.
Conflict of interest, maybe.
Something like that.
That's
So
probably the legal term.
But they don't make Apple Watches anymore, so it could be a nice.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Tell him, put that back in the box and don't touch it for 20 years.
If he's watching, I'm going to steal that.
I'm
Daddy made a mistake.
You know
Yeah.
what? Put it back
Here's
in
a
the box.
swatch.
So
You know what's interesting? It's funny that he's like, okay, so like it irks me is on top of the people that are wearing the suits now and sneakers, that really irks me.
Oh.
Okay.
Can't do it.
But when people wear suits
Bad
with
move.
Apple Watches, I don't know why. I go, it doesn't go.
You know what?
It doesn't
irks
go,
me?
man.
Suits and backpacks.
No.
Yeah.
That's
Suits
New,
and
that's
backpack.
That's New York. No.
Can't do that, right? You can't do
gotta
it.
go.
It
Yeah.
irks me. It's like, all right, you're putting a suit
Carry
on.
a
Okay, if you're
briefcase or
putting a
something.
suit,
Right, a briefcase. That
First
no
off,
one wants
right,
that.
you know.
put a nice pair of shoes on, okay? And take the Apple Watch. Put on a nice. It doesn't have to be expensive, okay? Like this watch is not expensive.
Got a $20
It's a freaking
Casio.
Instagram watch, okay? It's not expensive. Put a nice, classy black leather watch, white face, or with a black suit. Get the Apple Watch off. They go, oh, well, the Apple Watch is more. This is fan. Don't do it.
They say the same thing about the sneakers. You know how much these sneakers cost? I don't give a fuck how much
I don't
they
care,
cost.
man.
You don't wear sneakers with a suit.
You don't wear
Nah,
sneakers
man.
with a suit,
Okay.
man.
Speaking of sneakers, I just gave my cousin, who's 18, 19. So I had these Air Jordan Gammas, exclusive Jordan sneaker. I was never a sneaker guy, but these one pair of shoes, my buddy, shout out to my buddy Joe Body. He always had these Jordans, and he had millions of pairs of shoes like you, and he never wore them. I'm like, hey, let me get those. And he's like, no. Let me get those. No. So after a couple of years, he gave them to me. I'm like, wow, these black and teal Jordan Gammies. These are like a $400 pair of shoes, this and that. I wore them maybe a handful of times over the past few years. And then my 18-year-old cousin, he's like, Eric, I like the way you dress. I have like the long tan winter coat. Right? He's
Yeah,
like,
nice
I like
little
when
peacoat.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the peacoat. He's like, I like the way you wear those. He's like, you got those Jordans, those Gammas. Those are the freshest things I've ever seen. So for Christmas Eve, I'm like, let me just give them to him. So they look brand new. I gave them, and you would have thought like I gave him $1 million. He was like, yo, are you serious? I will take so good care of these. This and that. I said, all I want from you is when the first time you wear them out, I just want a picture with them on. I just want to see you wear them.
And it better not be with a suit.
Better not be with a suit. And then the next day, my buddy Joe, who gave me those shoes, sent me a tweet, and it says, the original Gammas came out $185. Brand new today, $800.
Oh.
And I was like, God damn it, I gave those motherfucking shoes away. But yeah, I mean, the kids today, I want to hear more about your son, but like they're all about the sneakers, the YouTube, the phones.
It's all electronics or like the well, actually, my son's not not the sneaker. He's only 10, so he's not the big sneaker frenzy yet. But electronics, he is. Like he has to have the best iPhone, the best this, the best that. And it's when I grew up, at his age, I didn't even have a beeper yet. Okay, I was happy with the Etch-a-Sketch, Legos, Lincoln Logs.
Lincoln Logs. Yeah.
The toy guns with the cops and robbers, the toy
The
rifles,
snap guns. They used to make
guns,
cap
guns.
Cap guns, they call
Yeah,
them.
yeah,
Not
I
snap
love
guns,
that.
the cap guns.
Cap guns. Yeah,
They had the little ring. It had like six
little
yeah.
smoke came out of it when you shot it.
Yeah.
To scare the shit out of my mother in the kitchen.
And they had the same ones that used to come in a little bag. The poppers. You used to throw them down at people.
That's what was fun when I was his age. Now I introduce him to this stuff. I tell him this stuff. He's looking at me like, I'm bored. I said, you were born bored. I said, you were born.
Is there
bored.
anything when you're talking to your son, you're like, what? What did you just say? What's the new thing going on?
Oh yeah, it's just now this is they're big YouTubers.
Yeah,
his generation, I guess. And they talk about these dumb shows. This new thing called Billy. Now he's into this show Billy. It's
Billy.
basically this guy Billy. He's an obnoxious kid to his parents, to his teachers in school, and I don't even know why he's watching it. And he emulates Billy, but not only him and his friends. They role play it. They act it out, and they're like, Billy, don't listen to the teacher like that. Billy, close the door. And I'm watching these. I don't want to say these idiots role play an idiot that's on YouTube, and I'm looking like. This is the generation that's going to take care of us.
Dude,
it's fucking scary,
it's scary,
man.
man. It's scary. And it's it's so I there's a part of me that hopes, because like I said, we're the last generation of that. What Eric said, go outside and play. Okay?
Right.
I remember being a kid, and when my mother said, when street light comes on, you come home. Right. Street light's on, you come home. Soon, that's like the bell. That's like you have an alarm on your phone. That's the alarm. Street light comes on. It's time to come home. Dinner's ready. But I there's part of me that wishes, because they always say that things come in cycles, right? And a lot of like the fashion that was big back in like the 1920s, 1930s, where everybody's wearing suits, it kind of slowly comes back, like things come back into style.
Yeah.
Part of me wants that type of environment to come back.
I feel like it's a bubble. I feel like at one point, all this stuff that we think is crazy for young generations that's gonna pop. Like just within general, I feel like we live in a very, very weird time. Just in general,
It's a very weird time.
Everything that's going on.
You have to watch what you say. You have to be very careful doing this.
It's
such at a fast pace. It's like eventually, like you said, the bubble will pop. The pace will die. I mean, it's only so fast. It's only
I hope so.
So fast you could go before we get taken over by this. Like we don't exist anymore.
I mean, perfect example is
scary.
records, right? Go back in like the 20s or 30s, you had records, right? Even like up into the 70s, you had records. That's what you'd play. You have a record player, you'd put a record on,
Yeah.
And then it goes into like the cassettes, the CDs, and now it's MP3s. Everybody's got an iPod. Or the iPod came out, now it's everybody's on your phone. Now you can access anywhere.
Stream.
Right.
But the records are kind of almost that nostalgia coming back in. People want to get records now, and records have a little bit of a pop. And I kind of hope that some of those things come back in where the nostalgia kicks in and people want to start doing those because
It's crazy.
It is.
It's not. So my full time gig, I'm an insurance broker, right?
Okay.
Part of my business, I walk into businesses like how people used to.
What type of insurance do you do?
Property and casualty, commercial. So a lot of construction.
Remind me to talk to you after the podcast.
You got it. I'll talk to you.
There you go.
So
there you go. Business deal.
So,
Cigars done.
But a part of my bit, like I said, I'm in Queens. I'll find a couple blocks in Queens. I'll go up and down the blocks, and I'll just walk into offices. And like people our age and even older, they're like, "You have an appointment, or what are you doing? What are you doing here?" I'm like, "No, I'm just in the neighborhood. I just had a meeting. Just wanted to go for business cards. I'm not sure if you work with other."
They look at you strange, like
yes. And I remember shaking one girl's hand. She's like, I'm like, you don't really get a lot of people walking in your store anymore, right? Or building. She's like, no, like this is so. She said this is so weird, and I'm like, well,
why?
Before this is how people conduct business.
People don't go out anymore.
It's crazy.
It's scary. People don't go out anymore. They don't interact with each other. That's.
I get a lot of my business from doing that, from showing up in person, because like you're forced to talk to somebody. Like I call people, they can just hang up, or you can go on a Zoom and just hang up. But when I'm in front of you, you have to at least engage with me for a couple seconds.
Yeah.
And it's bizarre. It's
that happens
so crazy.
So every year or twice a year, my alma mater has a career fair where they have all these companies come in and they set up booths and they tell you about their company, and they have students that come up that want to get an internship or get a full-time job. And it's amazing. And it's actually I work with his father. And you wouldn't believe the amount of kids that I always say, it's simple. You have 5 seconds. It's a first impression. You have 5 seconds. I'll tell you whether or not you even have a shot at getting the job. And it's very simple. You walk up to the table and you say, "Hi, my name is Justin. Very nice to meet you. What's your name?" Look me in the eye. Firm handshake. "My name is so-and-so. Very nice to meet you. Thank you for the opportunity."
Right.
Takes 5 seconds. Over 95% of kids don't do that. They give you some limp dick handshake. They don't look at you in the eyes. They look down. They're mumbling. And I get it that you're nervous, but that's not that. There should be no nervous about that. That is a very simple thing. Yeah. Look me in the eye, shake my hand, introduce yourself.
I'm sure you feel the same way.
So many kids don't do that.
But there's nothing more than when someone goes, "Hey, how you doing?"
Yeah,
and they give you this little like
I call it the dead fish.
Yeah,
dead fish.
Like, what do you want me to kiss your finger? No, I'm not. No.
Like I see big dudes, brolic, big muscles, and I'm like, "Hey, what's going on, man?" And they just like, hey. And I'm like, "The fuck just happened?"
You know what I do with those? They give you that. I grab their fingers and I
get a little squeeze
because I got a firm. I'm like, and I look at them. I pull them in. Hey,
reaction.
Look me in the eye, man.
It's bizarre, man.
They do want to. Like, I'm not gonna kiss it, dude. Look me in the eye. What's your name? And it actually makes our job easy because 95% of them are like, done. Take the resume. I don't care. Bottom of the pile. You got no shot. This is a sales position. You need to be able to talk to people. Okay.
Well, that's the whole thing, but now the whole generation is changing how you talk to people. It's like
wild.
It's nuts. Like,
and I guarantee, I said, if I took that person, I put him in another room and said, "Text me," they would be flooded with words.
Phenomenal.
They would be able to take no problem. This and that. So, but that's not
my dad would always made me do the most uncomfortable things when it came to doing jobs. He's like, shake someone's hand firm. I remember interviewing when I was 16, like interviewing for a job at Costco to work in the warehouse. I shook this guy's hand and he's like, "Oh, nice handshake." And I was like, "Whoa, it works.
It works."
Like, oh, holy shit. And he's like, "All right." He's like, I'm going to email this guy. He's like, "No, call him." "All right, no, go there and ask." And I'm like, I don't care if you're uncomfortable. Do it. It makes you stand out. I'm like, all right. And all these things I learned is, what I still do today. And people are like, "You do what?" I'm like, I just do basic human interaction.
That's what it is. They're missing that. They're missing that whole because they don't go out. They don't interact. You know, they're always behind a computer screen. It's you know, it's scary.
I hope it comes back. I hope there's.
I hope that does come back.
Well, you know what? What's good is that there's there's the guys like us that are going to be having kids. Like I guarantee you're going to teach your son. No.
Oh yeah.
Handshake. Look me in the eye. All right. Talk to people. No, get off the phone. Let's have a conversation right now. And there's guys like us that are going to teach the young generation, our young men and young women on. Like my wife has got a firm hand. She's from Texas. Firm handshake. Same thing. She's like, just because I'm gonna look you in the eye, shake your hand. Like,
Yeah.
and we're gonna be the people that teach those kids because I don't know if anybody else is doing it. There's gonna be a selection of us that are gonna do that.
Let's hope that we conquer that.
What's some of the things you're looking forward to teaching your son as he's growing up? Because he's 10, like I think you said.
He's 10 years old. Yeah, I mean, he's actually starting next year. He's going to start junior high school.
Is that your only kid?
My only son, yeah. And I teach him. I teach him how to be respectful of people, respect your elders. You know, he's a little bit of a wise ass. He learned a few bad habits from friends from school.
Well, you were a little bit of a wise ass too when you were younger too,
I was
right?
a big one.
Little Capone.
That's a little payback.
It is a little payback, yes. But you know, but let me tell you something. When my father looked at me and I was doing something wrong, all he had to do was look at me.
Yeah.
I stopped.
Yep.
I stopped. I was very scared of my father, and I'm 5 times the size of my father now, and I'm still scared of him. And he was scared of his father like that because I told you guys last time. My grandfather was a boxer. He was a big tough guy. My father's father, and today he died. My grandfather died when he was like 80. I think he was 82 years old. My father was still scared of his father just from that look because he didn't play around. Now, do I have that? Going back to your question, do I have that to my son? Yes and no. He knows that I'm gullible with him. I spoil him, but he does know when I give him a look, like when he knows when I'm upset, he'll stop. He doesn't do it with his mother though. His mother, as much as she tries, he doesn't have that. He's not scared of his mother. He's scared of me because when I mean business, when I look at him and I'm not smiling, he knows. All right, I gotta stop.
Like I pushed it too far. Yeah.
But when I'm not around, he takes advantage of that from his mom, and we're trying to work on that. But
I mean, he's a little hothead, right? A little 10-year-old. You know?
Yeah, you know, he's
as most boys,
you know,
most boys.
Not to mention that, you know, all his friends at school follow me. So, you know, going to pick him up from school is like an ordeal. They go, oh, Big Joe. So he has his head's gassed up.
Yeah,
my father's Big Joe Gambino, you know. So he goes around strutting his stuff and says, you know, Joe, you can't be humble. Daddy's humble. You got to be humble, you know. Don't show off to your friends, you know. Pretend that, you know.
Not everything's a big deal.
Simmer it down a little bit.
Don't disrespect the family name,
right?
Okay, you're a Gambino. Don't disrespect it.
Don't. You know, you're 10 years old. I don't even think you guys should be following me. But anyway,
that's another wild dynamic. You know, like your son's 10-year-old friends follow you, so it's like they already have some kind of connection to you. Like, you know, I barely knew my friends' fathers. Like, I know some of them, but like, you know, you're in their face. Yeah, well, could be 24/7 if they watch you all day, every day.
I come up on some kind of news feed or into a social media platform. One way or another, they're going to see my face. I'm always popping up.
You know, if they're watching TV, they're going to see Big Joe Gambino on the Kia commercial.
You know, it's kind of funny. I was working in one of my offices here on Long Island, and we had a big end of the year meeting. And one guy who works for us, but he's up in the Massachusetts office. So I'm talking to him. And he's an Italian kid, and he's like, "Yeah, man." He's like, "I saw you. I saw you on Instagram. You know, interviewing one of those Italian guys." And originally I thought it was Chris Colombo because we had Chris Colombo interview a couple months ago. I'm like, "Oh yeah, it was Chris Colombo. You know, Joe Colombo's dad." And he's like, "Yeah." And as we're talking, he pulls up the Instagram. He's like, "Yeah." He's like, "This guy." And I was like, "Oh, you mean Big Joe?" And he's like, "Yeah." I was on his Instagram. I'm like, "Wait, that's Eric." And I was like, "Yeah, that's me." And I'm like,
that's social media, man.
I'll tell you,
it's a blessing and a curse.
It's a blessing and a curse. You said it right ahead. It's a blessing and a curse.
Yep. Say it all the time. Depends on how you use it.
Yeah.
Right. If you sit there scrolling all day long, that's the curse. But if you use it to be able to connect with different people, and like our show can go global, and you can meet with people, you get a Kia commercial, like that's the beauty of it.
And I got to be careful who I'm nasty to now because, you know, not that I'm a nasty person, but like in traffic. For give you an example, last week I'm in Brush Avenue in the Bronx. I'm going onto the Whitestone now. There's these traffic cops, right? That are stopping and directing traffic, right? There's a left lane to turn left. And the traffic cop is standing right in the middle of the lane. But it's green. Why are you standing there? You're not stopping me. but you're standing right in the place. So I'm looking at him. I'm inching up to him. I'm about to get out. I open the window. I says, "But why the fuck are you standing where I have to turn? What are you doing? Don't you know how to do your job?" He looks at me and he starts smiling. He starts laughing, and I'm about to say, "What the fuck you laughing?" He goes, "Big Joe." I'm like, "Oh, you're like,
Yeah, then, it's so true.
Traffic cop. What else? I had to smile and laugh, roll my window up, and just try to roll.
You know, you should have done. You should have smiled, shake his hand. Yeah, nice to meet you. Now get the fuck out of the way.
So I got to be careful. Even the police are recognizing me.
It's for you. It's such an interesting concept of just like everyday life. Like you said, you have to be careful what you do to people because you're pretty recognized, at least in the tri-state area for sure.
Yeah.
And it's to the point that even everybody recognizes me now. It's like it's kind of scary.
It's also kind of cool, though.
It's kind of listen. I have to. Like I said, I'm blessed. I wake up in the morning. Sometimes I got to pinch myself. But I got to tell you another funny story when it comes to like law enforcement recognizing me. I'm doing a Kia commercial down in Long Island City. Right, I'm parked the opposite way of the street. So over there, they're very. It's well. There's a lot of security there. A lot of cops going back and forth. It's a nice area. So this state trooper starts putting his lights on, trying to He's like, why do you have your car? I'm thinking he's gonna. I had no seatbelt on. The car was on opposite. I'm opposite. I'm parked like this, right? Everybody's supposed to park like this. I'm parked on an angle because we were filming. But then as I pulled away, I had no seatbelt on. I'm going the wrong way up I'm not going on a one-way street, but I'm going like the wrong way diagonally. It's kind of hard to explain because it's like a circle.
You're just doing not what you're supposed to do.
Yeah, I'm doing not what I'm supposed to do.
Yeah.
So he puts his lights on. I had no seatbelt. I said, "Here we go. I'm gonna get a fucking ticket filming, right?" And I'm trying to find a picture because I want you guys to believe the story. He puts his lights on. Then I pull over. He comes along the side of the car, right? And I thought, he's gonna ask for license registration or to shut the car off. Whatever. He goes, "Big Joe, you mind if I take a picture with you?" Son of a... It's a state trooper, right? I says, "You want to take a picture with me? You mind if I take a picture with you?" Because I'm thinking I could use this PBA card.
Yeah.
I try to get a badge out of him, when I get pulled over, a state trooper. That's good to
big,
know.
Yeah, that's big.
So he gets out of the car, we take a picture. And it was so funny because I tell people that he goes, "You actually got pulled over," and here he is. This is the state trooper that pulled me over the day I was filming.
No.
I don't know if you can get that on the camera.
Let me see that one. That's hilarious.
So I said his name was Trooper Wolf.
Shout out to Trooper Wolf.
I said I'm going to remember that because if I ever get into a situation that I have to drop a name, I'm going to use. "Oh yeah, sure, no problem. Use my name. I don't have any PBA cards on me. I would have gave you one." I said, "No, the name is just as good." I told you.
Trooper Wolf.
Hey, and if you guys want to use him, Trooper Wolf,
Hey.
New York State Trooper.
A friend of ours, Joe Gambino, he told us we got
There
you
one
go.
free pass.
There it is.
One free
There it
pass.
is.
I think he was kind of fibbing to me a little bit because he goes, "Oh, my wife loves you. She follows you." I think the guy he was following me.
Yeah,
Whatever. He wanna-
he didn't want to admit it.
That's like one of those things like, "Hey, my friend wants to know, what do I do about this?" And it's like, you're asking me what you should do, not your friend.
Hypothetically, if there's a guy who does,
But it's great, man. I'm having a great time with it, and I enjoyed it. And I'm loving I love the attention, but I love the positive vibes I'm bringing.
That's what it's all
yeah,
about.
of course.
And it's a great thing, man. So we're very, very happy for you. But, I can only imagine what's going to happen from a year from now. If all these stuff happened last time we saw you in 2 months.
2 months.
I can't wait to see the next season of Grapes.
Do we have time to tell you one more quick story about
Yes,
the?
of course.
I don't know if you guys ever heard of the sushi mango.
No.
Okay, they're 3 Australian guys. They're 3 brothers. They're comedy, but their comedy's a little different. They're not comics. They do comedy skits, and they dress up as
Wait, the 3 Italian mothers?
the 3 Italian mothers.
Okay, I do know these guys.
Okay,
Yes,
they're
yes.
from Australia. Well, they came from Australia. They were doing a tour. They were doing a tour of New York, and they wanted to meet me.
Oh my! Yes, sorry to interrupt you. I did see this because I see them all the time on Instagram. They're like, mothers on Christmas, and they're like banging the bowls.
Yes, them.
And then I saw them, walking in New York City.
Great guys.
That's
Great
so
guys.
funny. That's so funny.
They wanted to meet me, so we met them at Fortunato's Cafe in Brooklyn. We did a whole thing, and they actually said, you have a big following in Australia, which is on the other side of the world. They actually were talking about having, me go do a movie with them and filming in Sydney, Australia. I turned around and says, "Well, how long is that flight?" He goes, "Oh, no problem, mate. It's about 16 hours from L.A. to I don't know if he said Sydney or one of the parts in Australia." And I'm like, 16 hours on a plane
From L.A.
from L.A.
And you got to go 5 hours from New York to California.
Okay, so I'm like, I don't know. I says, so you could be fly me first class. He goes, "No, we'll get you the we'll get you." He said, "We'll get you the way he described it, the way he said it was a funny word, but I can't remember it. The cot." He said the cot. Basically, he wants to fly me on Emirates. Did they have their own?
Yeah, we can lay down.
The bed.
Yeah, the whole bed. I says, "Well, that's probably the only way I'm going to fly
That's the only
to Sydney,
way.
Australia. Get me a TV, a cup of coffee, a nice bed. Unfortunately, you can't smoke on the plane. It's but they actually want me to do. They want me to do a movie in Australia.
That's amazing, man. That's awesome.
So
Let's hopefully see that.
That's awesome. That's a brutal flight. That's a
But it'd
brutal
be
flight.
worth it, though. It got to be worth. That's got to be worth it.
Oh yeah, I have to.
Gotta
make it worth my while. But it's funny that look, I started as a goof in my car on a cell phone, and now I have a following in the other side of the world, which is it's amazing.
It's
God bless, man. It's
love it. Love it.
That's the blessing part of social media.
Yes,
That's the blessing
of course.
part.
Right.
But
Love
Joe, we appreciate you coming for the second time in 2 months, blessing us with your presence for another 2 hours. Thank you so much.
It's my pleasure. My pleasure coming here.
And for the people who don't follow you or don't know what's going on, this is the time for the red carpet. Just plug away anything you got going on. You want people to watch, follow you. Just let them know where they can find you.
Oh, you can find me on. I'm on all platforms of social media. I'm on TikTok as Big Joe Gambino 2, Instagram Big Joe Gambino 2. I'm on Facebook, and I have my own YouTube channel, and I have my own website. You can follow the links. The links are all in my bio on Instagram. Come check it out.
I wonder who the Big Joe Gambino one is.
I don't know.
Gotta find that guy.
It was taken. Big Joe Gambino was taken when I made the name, and Big Joe Gambino 1 was taken. So I picked 2.
Yeah, but 2's the biggest of them all.
So it doesn't matter.
Who cares?
But my website and my YouTube channel, it's Big Joe Gambino. There's no numbers.
Love
but
it.
listen, just type in Big Joe, and I pop
yeah,
right
you're
up.
gonna, exactly. You're gonna pop.
I
up.
pop right. It's funny because in October, I think I had about 210 or 215 followers, and that was back in October. Now we're December.
Yeah.
December. I have 200 as of right now. I have 262,000. So what did you do the math?
50,000 in
2 months.
2 months.
50,000 in 2 months.
It's wild.
Where would I be in 6?
500.
Can only go up from here, my friend.
It's wild. I love
Only
it.
up
I love
from
it,
here.
man. I love it.
But thank you again, Mr.
Anytime.
Joe
Anytime.
Gambino, for coming on the Burn Down podcast.
It was
It's
a
been
pleasure,
great chopping
guys.
it up. As we like to say, our signature send off on the T-shirt. Cheers, chin chin, and salute, my friend. Thank you
All
so
right. Well,
much.
cheers. I'll cheers you with my.
Yeah, we do that.
There we go.
Beautiful.
Oh, I got to drink it. You can't cheers and
Not
not
a drink.
Can't cheers and not
I
drink.
mean, it is water though, so it might be a little bit of bad luck, my friend.
Well, it's
know.
bad luck if he doesn't drink it.
You don't know what's in here.
All right. We'll leave it at that. We'll
Love
leave it
these
at that.
guys. Love them.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you, everybody.
Bye.